Hey, how you doing? This is Ken Kinter, and this is actually, I believe it's day 57 of my leukemia journey. There's been a bunch of days skipped. I made a video and it immediately deleted instead of saving, and I was just too frustrated to do anything about it. So it's been a couple days. Most of those days have been uneventful, which is a good thing. I'll cut right to the chase. The good news is this is probably as good as I felt since this whole adventure started, right around Easter. I've been out of chemo. I've been home, regaining strength, regaining just the ability to do things. The side effects have abated quite a bit. I've been able to exercise, walk in laps outside, walked in a pride parade in Bordentown a couple days ago, which was nice. So things have been pretty good there. Not quite so reliant on the naps anymore. The big news was that last Thursday I went in for a biopsy, a bone marrow biopsy, and I'm still waiting for the results of that. And the deal with the bone marrow biopsy, I've probably already said, it's to determine if chemo was effective and if they should keep going with it or if we should just go the transplant route. Well, I get the answer. I get the answer on Thursday, today being Monday, but they've already scheduled my chemo. So I'm already set to go in. I'll be in over the Juneteenth weekend. So that's going to be round two. I thought I was going to have that weekend off and go in afterwards, but they moved it up. So I don't know what that means, but I know that I would rather take that on when I'm feeling good than when I'm feeling crappy. This will be cycle 2A. And when I did cycle 1A, I was in the hospital and I was really sick and really weak, and I still got through it okay. So if I were to use some deeply flawed logic, the fact that I'm doing much better now, I'm hoping that I will power through this better than the first time. That sounds reasonable, right? It doesn't necessarily have any bearing on reality, but it sounds good. So that's what the plan is. Again, as I mentioned before, sometimes it's really difficult to deal with disorganization from the hospital side. When I left my last appointment on Thursday, they said, okay, see you next, or I guess it was Friday. See you next Thursday for your, we'll get the results of your biopsy. So we're all set. Get home that same day, 4:30, there's a phone call. Wednesday, we're doing your pre-admission, and Thursday, you're being admitted. So which of these is it? And then when I call, I still hear both sides. The clinic thinks I'm just coming for a biopsy, but the nurses in back are already planning for the admission. So I think the admission is really happening. It's just not, the news hasn't gotten everywhere it needs to get yet. And unfortunately, what that does is that plays with my head a little bit. It makes it very hard to do a schedule. And it's really hard on Paige because we're arranging transportation and things like that. So it's hard on both of us, and there's an element of chaos there that you really don't need when you're in your recovery. For me, recovery, you want to have things to be organized and set instead of, chaos. To me, that only adds to the anxiety of it, but that's just part of the territory that comes with this. I'm guessing that's everywhere. I don't know. Maybe there are other facilities that have it a little more organized. But the long story short is I'd rather do it sooner. And one important lesson from this has been, when I feel up to something physically, do it. Because there's no guarantee. There have been days where I've said, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day I feel like crap. So the number one gauge in whether I should take something on is, do I feel physically up to it? If I do feel physically up to it, I should do it. If not, that's what the next day is for. That's what trying to be forgiving is for. I do need to, I'm in contact with HR at work. So now having a work schedule is going to be important. I either have to go on family leave and just not work for an extended period of time, say a couple of months, or do something called intermittent leave where I work here and there. And again, the schedule plays hell with that as well. So that's really, really, really challenging. Um, as far as other stuff goes, I mentioned side effects are good. I went in and had the bone marrow procedure done, and I had it done at the clinic as opposed to having it done at the, um, on an inpatient basis, and it went very well. Went about as smooth as it could go. So I was very happy about that. So all is well there. I believe I'm getting the same medication I've gotten before, so I'm hoping this goes smoothly. So long story short, after all of this stuff, I I have another day off tomorrow, and then the pre-admission stuff, which is just blood work, urine drug screen, all that kind of stuff. They'll probably test me for COVID again, and then walk in and do the admission just like I did before. So that's kind of it's pretty routine at this point. I may end up being in the hospital an extra day because I'm there over a holiday weekend. I would really love to be out for part of the holiday weekend, but man, they're going to hang on to me through Monday. I'm sure of it. That means like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's a full 5 days. But it's what we're doing. I hate to say it, but it very much feels like sacrificing the summer to get more time. So, I'll do that if I need to do that. The last thing, I'll just throw a little teaser out there. Anybody who's familiar with Joseph Campbell, there's something called the monomyth or the hero's journey. I've been doing some work around that because I don't know. I always think when something really terrible happens to somebody, okay, on one hand, it's something really terrible happens to them, but on the other hand, it's an opportunity. It's a growth opportunity. It's an opportunity to be tested, and it's a journey. And to me, the challenge always is to bring something back good from the journey. And that's basically what the hero's journey is. I'll go into it in more detail, but basically the person is selected. They go on this journey, which could be horrible. It usually involves the underworld or hell or communing with the dead or whatever. And then coming back again, hopefully with some sort of gift that helps people. Now, there's a lot of other details and things that go on to this. Almost every movie that you've seen, the quote hero goes through this sort of journey. And I've often made this comparison with what I refer to as the descent into mental illness, and then going into recovery, as going through hell and back. And there's certain elements of this that feel like that to me as well. So I'll elaborate more on that at another time. So I have one more day off, then pre-admission testing, which shouldn't be such a spectacular. Hopefully that's not such a big deal. And then you're going to be seeing the different backdrop again of hospital bed and hospital wall and all that good stuff. So not that that's too thrilling, but anyway, you have a good night. We'll see how all this works out. I'm hoping the good health streak holds out, and that I power through 2A, kind of like we did through 1A and 1B. All right. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be catching up with you soon. Take care.